What's going on, y'all? I just came back on here real quick to let y'all know about a few announcements, few things I got going on coming up, man. Some big changes, some big things. I got a few business endeavors where I just came across, and I'll be able to hire some people coming up soon. We'll be putting more into my youth program this year. We have a couple giveaways coming up. But most importantly, man, I'm on here to let it be known that in order for me to fulfill my calling in a better way, it's best for me to, go somewhere else. That's what I'm doing. So, I ain't gonna let nothing hold me back or get in the way of that.
In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, two separate families will both have a balloon release after one tragedy took both of their loved ones' lives. A man on a positive mission from the Garfield area of Pittsburgh was currently in the process of making some major changes in his life for the rest of 2025. After spending 13 years of his life incarcerated from the age of 19, he knew when he got out he needed to make a difference for the youth in the community. With a long-time love of sports, he became the owner and CEO at 3P Youth Athletics and was touching so many young boys' lives in the process. So when he and a young nurse aide were in a car that crashed on Dearborn Street, neighbors initially thought it was a bad accident. Sadly, after 911 was called, it was determined that it was more than an accident and two people had tragically been executed while a little boy was in the back of the car in a car seat. 24-year-old Quayla Daniels was described as a young woman that was a beautiful soul who was bright and intelligent. Excelling in her life was beyond important for her because at 16 she became a mother to her now 8-year-old daughter. She often referred to her daughter as her shadow, who changed her for the better. During her teen years, she realized the impact of losing her father and never getting to meet him. She longed for a father daughter relationship and said that she had so much she wished she could have told him. Back in 2001, her father, then 24, lost his life to a gun crime, getting shot multiple times in a car with his younger brother in the passenger seat. He was said to be a good kid with a very successful mother, and he even went on to school to become a teacher. But one summer break from college, he became tangled up in the streets and made some bad decisions that allegedly led to his demise. Losing her father in such a tragic way was definitely impactful in her life, and as she aged, no one would have ever thought Quayla would have lost her life the exact same way at the exact same age. Was this some sort of decade long get back for the people law officials say her father shot after jumping into the streets? Would it be a mere coincidence? Or would it have something to do with 35-year-old Dameon Hill, who was also unalived in the car with her? Damon, who the whole community called 40, was more than loved. He was cherished for all the positive that he was putting out into the Garfield area. He paid his debt to society after catching his case many years ago when he was 18. And from the age of 19 to 32, he was behind those bars. When he got out in June 2022, he hit the ground running in a positive way. He got his first real job in his life and said, "Not 40 with a job. Nah, this is the first time in my life I ever had a real job. I have been through a lot and have overcome a lot. The most important thing is that I'm here and ready for whatever life throws at me." Some people don't get out and make the right decisions, especially after being down for so long, but he was determined to make his dreams a reality. While he continued to put his best foot forward with his business teaching the game of football to the young people, he officially became free on August 27, 2024. I've spent my whole adult life in a cell or under the supervision of the state parole board, but I'm here today to proudly announce I am now off parole. Hashtag glory to God. From the looks of it all, things were headed in the right direction. Not only was he dedicated to the young boys in the community, he was a loving and devoted dad who had kids before incarceration and after. When it came to them, there was nothing that he would not do to make them happy, and he wanted nothing more than to be that present father. With him missing so much of his older children's lives, he did not want to even be that person again. His kids were his happy place, and nothing made him happier than getting that chance to watch his kids grow. One of the saddest things that he had to endure after coming home was losing one of his kids in 2024 that had been sick, and tragically, just 6 months later, he would lose his life. According to authorities, two adults who were later identified as Tequila Lynn Daniels and Damon Hill were unalive, but a toddler was left unharmed after a suspect opened fire from inside the car in the city's Garfield neighborhood. The original 911 call came in about 8:15 p.m. that day, and it was for a vehicle that crashed into a parked car on Dearborn Street. First responders arrived and found the two people already deceased from gunshot wounds and a 2-year-old uninjured in the back passenger seat. 𝐏𝐤𝐻 was found collapsed in the roadway just outside the car, and Dameon was found in the front passenger seat. Both had been shot at point-blank range directly in their heads. Through the investigation, detectives found shell casings inside the car and believed the shooter was in the vehicle with the victims. One of the witnesses who heard the crash was recording the vehicle when he saw a man in a black coat with a black face covering get out of the car. Whomever that person was came to the front and started fumbling with Dameon after he was already shot and quickly took off because many neighbors started to come out of their homes.
Shelley Bortz talked with a man who saw someone running away from that scene.
That man says he heard a loud sound, and when he came outside, he saw a black car crashed into several parked cars right here, just steps away from his front door. Then he says he saw someone get out of that car and run toward North Pacific Avenue.
He opened the passenger side and was fumbling with the guy in the passenger side, and all the neighbors were coming out right away, so he took off running up the street here.
William Palmer says everything happened so fast, but he was able to call 911 for help and take this video of the aftermath of the crash that happened outside his Garfield home. In the video he shared with KDKA, in the left-hand corner of the frame, you can see someone leaning into the passenger side of the car where two people were found, just as Palmer describes.
But I just assumed in the shock of it that it was probably just a regular car crash, and the nurse, one of my neighbors is a nurse, and immediately was like, both these people are.
Police say the woman who was driving and the male passenger were both shot in the head. A 2-year-old boy was found unharmed in a car seat in the back.
Thank God, baby was taken to the hospital and was okay. But for someone to execute two people like that, it had to be personal. By all accounts, the person was allegedly in the car with them, so they had to know that person to some degree. Now, as for 𝐏𝐤𝐻 and Dameon, it was not said how the two were related, but as far as the 2-year-old, that most likely was Dameon's son. 𝐏𝐤𝐻 only had an 8-year-old daughter, and it doesn't appear she was in the vehicle. Whoever did this shooting, I truly hope that they are caught sooner than later, because both families need answers as to why they had to bury their loved ones behind a terrible crime. Thank God the neighbors came out, because the person might have taken the baby. Who knows? But what is known is the community suffered a huge tragedy. There are so many questions with so little to no official answers as to who and why this happened. When you look at it, both had just started living life. 𝐏𝐤𝐻 had just finished nursing aid school in September 2024, and Dameon was looking forward to some new great things to take place in his life in 2025. Now both are gone, and it should not be the case. There are kids that now have lost so much, and it's just a very sad thing. My thoughts and prayers are with all of their many loved ones. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think the past discretions played a part in this terrible crime? There is so much we just don't know. So please, don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for these families in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke, things change quickly.